Hey guys, welcome back to Matthew Vinyl. In today's video, I'll be showing my Soviet Union vinyl collection. Now before we start this video, I'm just going to say that some of the records in this video were released in Russia after the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. And of course, on my channel, there is no politics. This channel is solely for music and music only. And yes, of course, you might say that some songs are political. Of course, there are songs, especially from the 60s, that are political. But of course on my channel, it's just for the music and just for the vinyl. So I hope you guys enjoy. Now most of the records in this video are the Beatles. I have shown all these in my Beatles video. If you want to see that, watch it here. There are some other cool, interesting records in this video too. Now the first record I've got, this is an EP released on the Melodia label in about 1975-76ish. This is the Beatles. All the text is in Russian, but when I translated it, there's 3 tracks from the Let It Be album. It does include the song Let It Be, Across the Universe and I'm Mine. Now, this doesn't sound the best, of course. It is unofficial. It is from the state label, but this is a bootleg. So when you do play it, you do kind of have to crank up the volume because it is quite quiet and it's a bit muffled too. But, you know, it's still interesting. Most of these sleeves did actually come in, like, this sort of design, but it did also have, like, pictures of trees and flowers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And I do have A Hard Day's Night. Now this is an official release, released in the Soviet Union in about 1986. This is official from EMI, as you can see there. It does have EMI there. Now this is missing 1 track. It is missing When I Get Home. I believe they had some sort of like legal dispute over it or something like that. I'm not sure the exact reason. But as you can see, the cover is quite different to the original UK release. As you can see, the images there on the back are flipped. And it does have a lighter blue and, of course, a different design. But this does sound very good. They would have been given high-quality tapes by EMI. So, you know, it is very cool to have this, as I say. And mine is on this nice little white label. Now, some of them are on red labels. Some of them are on, like, I think there's green labels too. But for the most part, though, most of them were released on these, on this white label and maybe some red labels too. Now I have Beatles for Sale. As you can see, it is a different cover because it's one smaller and has this blue border all around it with Beatles for Sale there in Russian and English. And again, this one is on the white label, and this one came out in about, I think, 1991, 92. So this is a Russian release. One thing I didn't mention there with the Hard Day's Night one, as you can see, the covers are very flimsy. But it's still cool to have, as you can see. It has a really weird photo of the Beatles there on the back, but it is the full album of Beatles for Sale. And again, it does sound quite decent, you know, it's not a bad sounding album. Of course, this one is a bootleg compared to this one, which is an official release, but this one is a bootleg, so you'd expect the sound quality to be a bit poor, but for the most part, it does sound quite good. And that's for the close-up of the label there. As you can see, it does state St. Petersburg, so I'm assuming that's where it was pressed. Now we have Rubber Soul. This one did come out in 1981 and it is on the Antrop label. I think I'm saying that right. And as you can see, it's a completely different back cover. And of course, as you can see there on the front cover on the Rubber Soul text, it does have the Russian over it. Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting release. That is the side 1 label there. And that is side 2, and again it does sound quite good. So yeah, pretty cool. So it is an interesting back cover, you know, some different photographs there. Now we have Revolver, and as you can see, it is a different cover there. It does have the same portrait, of course, by Klaus Forman, but all of the pictures there are completely different, and it does have Revolver there in Russian as well. But it is backed with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Now it is a double album. When you open the gatefold, of course, it is the Pepper's gatefold, but it does have the Russian titles there for Revolver and for Sgt. Pepper's. Now, I'm not going to show both records, but I'll just show you one. As you can see, it is on this red label, and the same for both of the releases. And again, not a bad standing record. One cool thing with this record is it does actually show you who is who, of course, all in Russian. I can't read it, of course, but on the back it has more information too. It's pretty cool to have this. Now we have Magical Mystery Tour. As you can see, it is a bit different. It is redrawn there. And we do have Yellow Submarine back with it as well, you know, similar to the last one I've shown. And of course, it is another gatefold there. I'll show you one of the records here again. It's on a similar label to the Rubber Soul one. And again, sounds pretty decent again, you know. Not a bad sounding record, it's definitely listenable. And it does come with this booklet. Now I've seen videos of people saying that this booklet is quite uncommon, but I've got mine here. As you can see, it is pretty much the story of the film, of course, in Russian and all that, and it's all been redrawn. Now we have Let It Be, of course. This one is also on that St. Petersburg label, and the back cover is interesting. It does have Maggie May as the last track. I was like, well, that's just how it is on the actual album. But on this release, Maggie May actually opens side 2. So it's pretty interesting. Text there is a bit different, and it does have English and Russian, as you can see. And now we have this other official Russian release. This is called A Taste of Honey, and it does have tracks from Please Please Me to Beatles for Sale. So yeah, it is a pretty interesting release. And again, it does sound really good, because I say it does have the official tapes from EMI. You see, that is the red Melodia label there. So it is pretty cool. And now I have Paul McCartney back in the USSR album. This is an official release that he made for the Soviet market, of course, in 1989. It was never released worldwide until, I think, the 2000s or something like that. Maybe late 90s. But as you can see, that is the white Melodia label there. See, it's a pretty interesting album. It's like John Lennon's rock and roll album, going through 50s rock and roll covers. Yeah, it is quite cool. Now that is the Beatles part of this video done. Now I'm going to go to the classical music. Now classical music is not my main part of music, but I thought I'd buy these anyways because I thought they're quite interesting, you know, from the Soviet Union. So let's get into them. This first one is the Soviet Red Army doing some tunes. I'm not too familiar with these sort of songs, but it does have in the back there, Soviet Culture Shop, East Berlin. So I'm assuming some sort of person, obviously from the West, went over there and bought this. As you can see, it does say in English, made in the USSR, and most of the text is in English. So I am assuming this was made in the Soviet Union, solely made for Westerners to buy when they went to East Berlin. As you can see, they does state all that kind of cool information on the back there. Again, this music isn't exactly my type of thing, but it's cool to have anyways. For the history, I have got this one. This is a 45. I think it's back music, but I might be wrong. It's something like that. I haven't played it yet, so I'm not really too familiar with it. But I did buy this in a charity shop in my area. You can see it's on this yellow Melodia label. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have. I do have this Mozart box set, again, released on the Melodia label. I think it's from the movie like late 80s. I will show you one of the record. It is a triple set. Just with the original indices there, of course. Yeah, this is 1983. Has that there on the back there, you can see it does have the date there. So yeah, I don't really, of course, I can't really read any of this, but it's cool to have regardless. Again, not my type of music, but it's cool to have. And then I do have this. This is David Oistrakh. Again, not familiar with him at all, but I can tell it is obviously some classical music, and it is on this white Melodia label. And you can see it is in pretty much mint condition. So yeah, again, it's pretty cool to have. Now for the final record in this video, I'm not too familiar with this, but I think it's some sort of sympathy play. Yeah, it says down there. It's some sort of sympathy play. It's a double vinyl, double LP. Does have this gatefold. Obviously not too familiar with this, but well guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and peace.